Thrand here, and just as we promised, we're back with the two heavier Pila, and we're going to go ahead and test that out against a free hanging target, an extremely tough target with the same Gambeson. And we're actually going to do some testing on the Gambeson to see how tough that actually was in the other video, so people have a way to gauge it or calibrate it. So we had a lot of weird comments about different things about over-penetration, not doing enough damage that needed to be used two-handed. You would have bit if you used it two-handed, all other kinds of stuff. Over there, we're going to test it out. We've got the medium Pilum that Wayland had loaned us. The Scutum he loaned us. It's not mine, unfortunately. I would love to own it. I'm supposed to have one. I'm part of the Legionnaire Spearman, but mine was a round shield. Most of the time I used a round shield with the same device on it. Anyway, and we've got the heavy Pilum today, which performed the best. This is the one that did the massive penetration with the overarm throwing slide. That can also just be an overarm throw, or it could be just a punching type thrust with a full draw back. I mean, for a close-up attack. So we're going to test all that out today. We're going to test the different amounts of power, because people are saying that the overarm slide has too much power. We'll try that out, and we're going to try it two-handed, as promised, for the idea of fighting maybe cavalry or somewhere where you need maximum reach and a stability. So let's go ahead and get started.
Oh, that's a great big negative.
That Gambeson is going to allow a 50-pound bow to penetrate. Got a little dimple in it, but it wasn't able to cut through. I was aiming for about this section here, but I hit a little over to the right, but still. That's the amount of Gambeson we tested in the other video with the Pilum thrust, and that's the same mannequin. So a lot of people were saying that this might have been easy to penetrate and that we needed to use the Pilum two-handed to possibly pierce her, and I don't think that was the problem. I really, really don't. It was the actual Gambeson itself.
I'd say it's a great big negative as well, Thrand.
I don't think it's going to go through our new tough bottle and the 12 layers of a cloth, which is our medium Gambeson, or what people would normally wear under mail, or possibly a Larica Hamada. Yeah, the 50-pound bow is no match for it. This Gambeson itself stops the arrow, and that's what we were testing in the other video. Matter of fact, in our dagger video, we were going through 36 layers of that into ballistics gelatin. Or actually, no, it was actually a water bottle, a lighter water bottle, but a water bottle. So no, we were going through 36 layers of that with our dagger thrust, which is a totally different animal altogether, especially when it's braced in place. But anyway, here's an idea what we were testing against and what we'll be testing against today. All right, I'm here with the medium Pilum that was loaned to us by Wayland Seawinds. What we're going to do here is we're going to try a thrust with it two-handed, because we're talking about in like such a cavalry situation. I know these don't have as much reach as like long pikes or extremely long 10-foot spears, but if they were used two-handed, this does give you a lot more reach to reach somebody on top of a mount. A lot of shorter polearms in history were this length, if the shield's slung on the back or put to one side for a second. And yes, you could most likely set and drive this into a horse that was charging into you, but the question is, what kind of reach does he have? But anyway, right now we're just going to test the ability to thrust. So I'll do it in a pike style. I'm going to hold it back where my arms aren't going to slide or anything. I'm just going to step in and thrust and see what happens. Ooh. Alright, it went clean through our extremely tough backing and our bottle free hanging with the 12 layers again. So much better than a 50-pound bow with the vodka style. This will be difficult to get out. Not too difficult. You get a nice hole in it. I'm most certainly impressed. It's a good piercing. It went in deep enough that I believe that would be a kill. And I doubt the guy would have as much protection as this bottle. It's way tougher than ballistic shell. This stuff is thicker than our toughest barrel. That barrel that we used to stab, it's thicker than that. It's about twice as thick. All right, now I'm going to try what a lot of people act like is a controversial technique, but it's sliding the spear to get the most reach, because you can actually literally reach out and get somebody with this type of technique. I mean, and it's a surprise technique too. You don't have to even move the body to reach out to get somebody. The spear is moving. It's directly towards the face or the throat. You can't even see it coming. But This is an idea. I believe it'll be extremely powerful as well. We found more power in this technique than a lot of people try to say that it's weaker for some reason. But I'm going to go ahead and thrust with it and see how it performs.
I think that was way better.
It hit the back side. I don't know how far we've gone through. I'm going to try to see. It is out the back side. The other one did not quite have that power. This one has way more power for the acceleration. I'm extremely impressed. I do think it would work as a spear two-handed if necessary, and possibly could have been used depending on the circumstances, if the armor alone was enough and this reach was enough, because some of these are a little bit longer than this one as well. Alright, I'm going to start off with the overarm slide or overarm thrusting technique, which can be done this way or it can be done with the slide. And I'll start off with some lighter shots and then work my way up. We're going to do it against a moving target with the tougher bottle, not the regular bottle we normally use, it's extremely thick, and the 12 layers of Gambeson. Let's see how this works out. Ready? Go. Whoop. I did a really light one to see if I could. I barely poked it. Very light. You can do that. Now let's see what happens when I crank it up.
That's just medium.
Yeah, that's a medium.
And you're recovering through the Gambeson. Nothing's hanging you up.
Nah. And there's some very tough parts of the bottle as well. Still able to retrieve it. That was in there taut too. All those were good wounds, and I can actually control how hard I hit it. Some of those are really light intentionally. I just wanted to throw them out there and see what they do. Some of them went in pretty deep. Not bad at all. We're going to figure to come back by the heavy Pilum because we want to see how well it would work. And just as well, it went straight in and out. And it's got a lot less water in it at the current time. I had to put the Gambeson back up. I think we actually have a couple of extra layers that we're going through. And we're still getting directly into it. With that little bit of water, we're still able to pierce it. So that tells me that it would certainly work. Okay, we lost almost all of our water. I'm going to go ahead and give it a slide and see how it penetrates with that small amount of weight behind it. I'm sorry, but that says it all to me. If we got that all the way in, that deep through all that, with that amount of water and that tough of a jug, then that is extremely impressive. Well, I'm very impressed with today's testing. Pretty much confirmed what we believed. The Pilum, that's around 2 pounds, performed the best in my opinion for that type of technique, for the most versatility. Could even be a little bit longer and be made like this, it would work just fine. The heavier Pilum, although it has extreme thrusting capabilities, which we saw that today, and it has more reach and more weight behind it, which is, in my opinion, would give it more armor piercing ability depending on what you're hitting and what kind of material, performed very well as well. I think they're both possibilities if you were going to use these type of Pilum for a melee weapon, as is recorded in the 2 accounts from the Siege of Alesia and Marcus Antonius's Parthian campaign. So, I mean, that both shows up. I think they possibly could have used them as spears, especially early on, because they did come from an early phalanx Greek-style formation. They used the same type of things like aspices and spears until they went to the actual gladius and these large shields that cover their entire body. You know, where you just move your arm and you're whole completely covered except for maybe your foot or your ankle. So you can see how this might work to give more reach and range advantage. And due to the way they're made, I believe that honestly, yes, if I held it here the whole time where it feels balanced and try to stab with it, I wouldn't have a lot of extra advantage to that. Just a few inches. It wouldn't really hardly be worth it if you're just going to open up and stab to the right and then have all this behind you. If they used it as a spear in the actual formations, I think the overarm would be the way that they would have to use it, especially the way these seal up. I know you can rock them open, but I mean, that's just my opinion. That would be the most advantageous method of using it. And against cavalry, or possibly if somebody was thrusting from behind the front wall and slung their shield back, heck, they might have taken one of the longer Pila and started using it as a spear over the heads of the troops. It's possible. Stab people in front of them. Two-handed. You get full reach with that when you do the sliding type method, where you do or pool queuing, as people call it, two-handed.
You know what my favorite thing about these tests is it proves that you can recover the Pila or the spear really easily through Gambeson. When you penetrate, or what they call over-penetrating, you're pulling it right back through the Gambeson. You may have had one little hang-up, and it only took you like, what, a second and a half to pull it loose?
Right, and I just was able to yank it back out. It's exactly what happened with these leaf shapes. I think that's why leaf shapes were common early period, because they could be yanked back out. Yes, we have found Pila with leaf-shaped heads, which later on you get the pyramid or the pyramidical or four-sided shape. And yes, those would hang up better. I mean, they would stick in things easier and be harder to get out unless they're, I guess, rounded at the back and very small. So, and a lot of them work. So, I mean, you possibly could use that as a spear if you needed to as well. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Be sure and go by the Thrand Elgrim's Well of Remembrance at Facebook and like us there. It's our like page. Be sure and don't forget to like our video down below. I almost forgot that. And subscribe to our channel. I'm sure if you're here, you're probably already thinking about it. Hopefully, you know, go for it. And also, if you want to be a member of our closed group, where we have a lot of artisans, weaponsmiths, armor smiths, craftsmen of all sorts, and people that are minor historians up to major historians of all eras, come by our closed group on Facebook. It's the Thrand YouTube boat crew. I just asked to join, and you can find us there. I mean, we'll go ahead and let you in. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, if you want to help us out with donations so we can do better episodes that have better Gambeson, get more Gambeson, and get better test mediums so we have our ballistic shell that we want for a lot of tests, and maybe a full torso that we plan on working on, be sure and go by Patreon and subscribe monthly if you can. That's www.patreon.com/Thrand. You can do a monthly donation there. If you'd like to do a one-time donation, you can use our PayPal ID or my PayPal ID. It's thanethrand@yahoo.com. That's also an email. You can send emails there. I don't check it as often. So you might want to go to Gmail if you want to donate items. Let's say if you want to do a one-time donation, that's the ID. You might want to just go to Gmail if you want to offer there. Or maybe even the boat crew. We can hear about whatever you want. You can contact us lots of ways. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. We enjoyed it. I hope we did exactly what we promised. We'll come back with more if you need it. Farewell.